Okay, so seems like in a different version you just were able to select a icon and put in the number of columns, but this version is a little different with Adobe 2020 for InDesign. So what you have to do, if you're in the latest version of InDesign, you want to make sure that your text box is selected. You're going to go into Object and you're going to go into Text Frame Options. And in here, you're going to type in the number of columns you want. And you can also go into the details of the gutter space you want, which is space between columns. I like to keep this as it is because it is a comfortable width. And then you can also take a look at how much spacing you want on the top, the bottom, left, and the right. And then you have other things that you can customize are column rules, baseline rules if you want to make sure things stay to the baseline, use custom baseline grid, all those different options. So I'm just gonna select the number 2 over here for number of columns. If you want, you can do 3, that's fine. And then I'm just gonna hit OK. So as you can see, my information here is now set to 2 columns. If I select this piece of text over here and go back into, where was it, Object, and then Text Frame Options, and do 3, you'll see that I have 3 columns, like so. So those are options you can choose from, depending on the type of text you want and how much information you want to have. Also depends on the grid that you have too. So that's something worth looking into. So once I have my text figured out for the body copy, then I want to start working with pull quotes. And what are pull quotes? Pull quotes are those big quotes that you see in magazines where they kind of bring out the most important information that the editor or writer wants the reader to walk away with. So basically, we're going to do another text box, and it's okay if it overlaps the rest of the text because we're going to be fixing that soon. So I'm just going to put the text over here and then write out what my pull quote is going to be. So I'm just going to say something random like discover the hidden gem of Damascus. And then just make it a little bit larger. I want to make sure that I have my quotation marks like so. Okay. You might want to do a bold treatment just to kind of differentiate this text from the rest of the text that I have. So I'll make sure I'm in CMYK. I'll go back into my palette, just do bold. I want to do a medium italic and just work with the spacing in between the sentences. All right, so now I want to make sure that both the text and the body copy is selected. And then what I want to do is create some room around. All right, so what I'll do is go into text wrap. That's what we're going to be doing, is using the text around to wrap around the pull quote. If you see over here those little icons, it shows you different options for you for how you want your text to appear with your image or graphic. So if you want it to wrap around a specific object, you can. This works nice when you have like a circle or an image within a circle. Wrap around the bounding box, which is what I want, or no text wrap, which is what it's highlighted as right now. So I'm going to select this where it says wrap around the bounding box. Okay. And then I get more space coming in. And you see that the rest of the information is completed right underneath. Now notice that there is more text when I bring this down. Okay, so one idea would be to click on that red box and then click on another text box, and then this just continues over. The text just goes over to the other side. Okay? I'm going to do the same thing with this text over here, so put in another full quote. I'm probably going to make this a little bit smaller and say, so I'll make this just a tad bit smaller. And if I want to make sure things are the same size, I can use the eyedropper tool and select different parts of my text to make sure that things align properly and they share the same scale. So I'm just going to fix the spacing in between, like so. So this is how my full quote sits with the rest of my information. Something that looks like that. Okay. And then that's pretty much it. If you want to take a look at how your layout looks without all those bounding boxes, you can go Command semicolon. So that takes off some of them. Another option would be to take a look at your bounding boxes. I think you can hide those as well. There's a area for you to hide those areas. So I want to say hide extras. It says frame edges, which is what this is. And that's what that does. So when you command semicolon, brings that back. And then now you can see everything in terms of color, in terms of layout, in terms of how the images are being placed. If you want more space in certain areas, this gives you a very good idea of how you want your layout to print out, actually, without all those rules. Okay? So I'll see you in the next video where we talk a little bit more about your assignment.